For 10 years, if you searched how do I change my gender or race in Rust, there was only one real answer. You can't. Not a workaround, not a command, not even an admin command. It was locked to your Steam ID the day they added it in 2016, and that was that. Facepunch didn't just make the decision, they defended it hard through mainstream news coverage and genuine backlash from multiple directions at once. Then, in June 2026, after rebuilding the entire player model from the ground up, they quietly put something on the official roadmap they haven't mentioned in a decade: player customization. This is the story of how Rust went from you play as whatever your Steam ID says to possibly letting you actually choose, and why it took 10 years to even hint at it. Go back to launch. There was no decision to make. One player model. In Gary Newman's own words years later, you played as a bald white guy. You never had a choice. The only way to look different was what you looted and wore. Road sign jackets, armor, clothing. The character underneath was always the same. That changed in March 2015. Devblog 51 introduced randomized skin tone, head shape, and face, all seeded from your Steam ID. The goal was simple: no two players should look exactly alike, so you recognize people by their face instead of just a name tag. Facepunch knew this was sensitive. Newman wrote at the time, "There's a lot of skin colors in the world, and it's really easy to appear racially insensitive when doing this. So we're spending a lot of time trying to lessen that effect." Some players immediately pushed back, both black and white, saying they didn't want to be forced into a skin tone that didn't match them. Then that summer, a female model appeared in testing. By Devblog 69 in July 2015, the female model went live for admins only while they built proper clothing. And right there, Newman drew the line the studio would hold for the next 10 years. You won't get a choice of whether you're female or male. We're not taking the choice away. You never had a choice. April 7th, 2016. Devblog 105. The female models went live for everyone. Roughly half the player base logged in and discovered they were now permanently female. The other half stayed male. No opt-out, no reroll. Your Steam ID decided it, and that was final. Facepunch's own words in the Devblog: "We understand that you may now be a gender that you don't identify with in real life. The only difference is that whether you feel like this is now decided by your Steam ID instead of your real-life gender." They framed it as unfinished work, really just the first pass of an ongoing rework. The press showed up fast. Shack News broke the story. Game developer got Newman's clearest defense: the decision was about gameplay, not ideology. He said letting players choose would have required 6 months of development he didn't want to spend, and he didn't believe it would improve the game. Some coverage called it forced diversity gone too far. Other coverage, including CBC News, highlighted transgender players describing the permanent, unchangeable assignment as genuinely uncomfortable. Newman responded to the whole storm in The Guardian with one line that became the studio's position for a decade: "Rust is not a game about identity." He called the reaction extreme, and he gave zero indication anything would change. And then, nothing, for 10 full years, 2016 to 2026. The exact same system. No opt-out, no customization tool, no reroll button. The controversy faded from the news cycle, but the rule never moved an inch. You can't change your character in Rust stopped being news. It just became true. Then came June 4th, 2026, a devblog titled "Built Different." Facepunch's first complete ground-up player model overhaul in almost 10 years. New skeleton, new proportions, better hair, better faces, new hairstyles, fixed clipping. Their reasoning was purely technical. The old player model has served us well for almost 10 years, but it's lagged behind the rest of the game for some time. Prior attempts to improve the player model have always ended up feeling like band-aid fixes. But here's the detail that actually matters for this story. Race and gender seeds were kept 100% intact. Your face might look a bit different, but the 2016 assignment stayed exactly the same. Existing characters got a facelift, not a reset. Except in the same update cycle, Facepunch's official roadmap added something that had never existed since 2016: player customization, Q4 2026. Rustified reported it plainly: player customization is still planned for later this year, which should eventually give players more control over their character's appearance. Facepunch's own roadmap carries the usual disclaimer: this roadmap isn't a promise carved in stone, it's a direction of travel. After 10 years of the same answer, a direction is the first real movement this story has had. So here's the actual question, and it's not just will they add it, it's what should customization even mean here? A simple reroll button for your face and skin tone, or full free choice, the way almost every other game lets you build a character from the start. And after defending the locked system this hard for this long, as core to the game's identity, does Facepunch owe players a full walkback, or is a direction of travel enough? Be honest in the comments. If Rust actually lets you fully choose your character later this year, are you changing yours, or are you keeping the one your Steam ID gave you a decade ago? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.